June each year marks the month when the good and the great of Ireland's PR industry come together to compare notes and award the gongs across a range of categories for their PR efforts. And while braving the elements of Ireland's tough economic climate may be worth an award in itself, this year's contenders showed an agility of mind and a sleight of hand in both the design and the delivery of their campaigns. And Ireland on Business went along to find out more. Opening the proceedings was the new Minister for Communications, Pat Rabbitte, while FDPR took the honours in the Corporate Communications category for the launch of the Irish Technology Leaders Group, their arrival to Ireland and their efforts to help keep Ireland's IT and focus in the fast lane.
Our award today, and we were lucky to win it now I have to say, was for the Irish Technology Leaders Group, a group of Irish Americans based in Silicon Valley in California who really wanted to try and put something back into the community here in Ireland. They're very influential individuals working for high-powered organisations, the Intels, the Microsofts of the world, and their mission really in terms of the next stage of developing into Ireland was to invest in the next range of companies. So where's the next Google going to come from? Where's the next Microsoft going to come from?
It was the chastening times in the Irish economy that stirred the Jack and Jill Foundation into their communications drive. When running out of money, they had a compelling story to tell, under the mantra of SOS, Save Our Services.
The key elements of strategy were total terror. We were running out of money. We realized that we had over 320 children at that stage, and we were running out of money fast. And we had to be very brave and say, we've got to face this crisis. The budget is in distress for Jack and Jill, and we're going to come up with lots of innovative ideas to get the public back on side with us and not look back relying on the state. We had to go back to the private sector again. With a concerted media drive pulling at the heartstrings of the Irish public, Jack and Jill's result has been resounding. We were about $750,000 out of pocket, and it was so successful that we're now back in profit again. We're stable and we're looking the world straight in the eye. Illustrating a changed mood music throughout the country, Musgraves struck the right note with two campaigns, taking pride of place for both SuperValue's commitment to Ireland Inc. and Centra's Action Breast Cancer, both warmly received by the Irish public.
SuperValue is so committed to buying Irish. 75% of everything we buy is either produced or sourced in Ireland, so this is an amazing award for us to win. We don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk, and we are so proud of this award. On the other side of the house, we've won an award for Centra and Action Breast Cancer, which I think is something that most of the women who either work or interact with the Centra brand, whether they're customers or whether they're retail owners or whether they work for Musgrave, we are just so passionate about. And it's a campaign we started last year. There was two kind of platforms to it. One was about selling pink gloves in store, the other one's about getting the girls to come round and have a party night in. So we had two platforms there, and we raised over 400,000 for Action Breast Cancer. So we're absolutely thrilled with both of these awards.
On the sporting front, Murray Consultants' win in the digital space was in support of the GAA's Under-21 Football Championship and its sponsorship by another Irish favourite, Cadbury, proving online is now mainstream for traditional brands and their PR agencies.
I think it's fair to say it's absolutely critical in this day and age, certainly for any FMCG brand or corporate institution that wants to communicate with people beyond just the one-directional use of what would be traditional PR. Digital is, you'll find, is getting more and more of the budget from companies year on year because they find A, they get better engagement because it's two-way conversation, and B, there's a better return on investment because at present it isn't a very expensive medium to use. So, you know, PR agencies, which are mostly here today, the onus is on us to, become familiar with these platforms both as individuals and as practitioners, and then work with our clients to utilise them as best we can.
But it was Pembroke Communications who swept the boards, and with 4 awards ranging from the corporate to the quirky, 30 years in operations has been rewarded. In the case of their client, Board Gosh, it was for the creation of an online book club that saw the winner's enclosure, while old-fashioned research provided the key.
I think books and reading has become a space that, through our research, we've discovered that 9 out of 10 Irish people have an affinity with books. So it seemed like a really good space in terms of Board Gosh's bullseye target audience, which is women over 35. So we kicked it off last September with a target of getting 1,000 members on board within the first month, and we managed to achieve 6,000 within our first month. Through a lot of PR, a lot of promotion, a lot of on-street, a lot of strategic partnerships with a similar target audience, and it's been really amazing. It's worked really, really well for us.
While the quirky entailed the Virginia Pumpkin Festival, a local festival that took on a national perspective and bearing fruit through imagination and execution.
Well, the Virginia Pumpkin Fest has been running for 4 years, and we've been working with them for 2 years now. Last year we began working with them back in August, and they really wanted to ramp up the activity, so we kind of came up with a new and quirky campaign for them to try and get people talking about pumpkins and of course the little town of Virginia. So we did a number of quirky and consumer things this year. For example, we carved Ryan Tuberty's face into a pumpkin and sent it into him in the studio, and he put it up on his Twitter and really got people talking about it. And then we had the arrival of the vice presidential pumpkin to Cavan, which was basically a pumpkin coming over from the States, which is grown by President Obama's a specific pumpkin grower for the White House, and he brought over his pumpkin. So we had a ceremonial arrival in Cavan for the pumpkin, which really caught the media's imagination, and we had great coverage on RT and TV3 as well as all the national newspapers.
Taking a niche approach to a mass market saw Bespoke with Direction achieve a podium position for its Fáilte Ireland Fun Starts Here campaign. And for Neil O'Gorman, the award was a vindication of the agency's endeavour and another significant milestone in its development.
It's obvious that a lot of thought goes into choosing who wins, because they recognise that these are flagship campaigns and people will scrutinise award-winning campaigns and you want them to be above board and all of that. So very important. And then for the winners, it's very important to be able to say that campaign that we've believed in has been recognised by an objective panel by the industry. So it does give us a lot of marketing potential.
The launch of Eircom's Music Hub was deemed best event of the year, and for Eircom and WHPR, Music Hub's launch is part of a wider Eircom strategy to give customers more for less.
What people want to know is, are they getting better value? And so we've employed a strategy with our broadband customers to offer them more for the same price. And so very much, if you're an Eircom broadband customer, you get the access to the free music service for free. And I think that is a very attractive proposition. We did it also with Study Hub. We've done it also with online streaming of sport, to Sports Hub. So there is an imperative to offer more for customers to ensure that they feel that they're getting value for what they're paying for. And Music Hub is actually a very dynamic way of delivering that for people.
Confirming its previous form was Grayling PR and its Mind the Gap campaign for Aviva, which highlighted the need for increased pension provision, saw it well placed not only in Ireland but far beyond.
This campaign rolled out across the Grayling network and essentially was activated in 17 different countries, and it was all about essentially highlighting the pension savings gap. And the Irish campaign was nominated as Best in Class. It won an overall European award, and we actually generated the most amount of coverage. As I said, we stood out as being Best in Class. So it's great to see Grayling Ireland, stand out across the whole entire Grayling network and get the award today.
No doubt this coming year will prove just as formidable as the previous, but with many PR professionals and agencies well battle hardened at this stage, many have turned the corner from enduring the effects of the downturn to using it as a point of difference in both framing and executing their campaigns. And with chasing times still ahead, more of the same may be on the agenda. This is Barry Keane for Ireland on Business at the PR Awards 2011 here in Dublin.